What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night ultra late Q&A hangout. Just had a lot of work of some things to do. We had a podcast interview drop previewing the Colts and Chiefs game. That dropped a little bit ago. And then, just late night yesterday because with this Chiefs loss, I really wanted to make sure that we dove into the game and really processed through kind of everything that went wrong and how the Chiefs ended up losing to the Denver Broncos in a very close game. Much respect to the Broncos for getting the W done. But what that does is it puts the Chiefs in uncharted territory, really, in the Mahomes era. It's not the first time the Chiefs are going to not win the West or anything like that, but it's been a while, right? So you're not completely out of the AFC West, but it's basically done. 9% chance or something like that. The Broncos would basically have to implode, as would the Chargers. So now the Chiefs are just in some tough territory here. You're getting ready for a very, very high-powered Colts team that is getting one of their best cornerbacks back from injured reserve in Charvarius Ward. They just traded for Sauce Gardner before the trade deadline as well. And then they have one of the best offenses in all of football with Jonathan Taylor putting together basically an MVP case. I don't know that a running back in 2025 is going to get MVP, but he very well is making a strong case for it. So that's kind of where you are. You're preparing for it. And I just wanted to hang out with you guys and see how it's going, see how you guys are feeling. Broncos own you. Yeah, I think Mahomes is 13-2 against Denver. Big own. But they got a good W and well-deserved win. The AFC West, I said before the season started, they're getting better. It's more competitive. Aside from the Raiders, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if you watched Monday Night Football or not last night, but that was a very ugly game. And I don't know what the Raiders are going to do. Do you fire Pete Carroll? They just brought him in. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. So that's very interesting. And then I had the Chargers, then Broncos, then Chiefs. Well, when you are 0-5 in one-score games, meanwhile, the Broncos are what? What are they? I don't think they're undefeated in one-score games this year, but they're close to, or their last X amount of games that have been one score, they've won. So they've been finding ways to win down the stretch, whereas the Chiefs have not been able to find ways to win late in these games that are very close. And it's kind of a mixed bag. I know some people just want to say, well, it was only on Mahomes. It was only on coaching because Andy Reid wouldn't run the ball. It was only on pick your subject. It's really a mixed bag, but in a close game, I think all the mistakes, the miscues, the coaching mishaps, Mahomes missing, all of that gets elevated or further dramatized because it was such a close game. It's not like the Chiefs lost by 20 and you're like, well, it was everything that went wrong. It was just bad. Well, when you lose by 3 to a game-ending field goal, you could look back at 10 different things that the Chiefs could have done different or executed at a little bit higher level, and that could have resulted potentially in a W. And that's what I tried to present in my video on Monday night when I said, here's all of the missed opportunities that the Chiefs had. And I did a poor job, I think, of one aspect. When I was looking at all the penalties and everything that went down, I just kind of overlooked the fact that the Jawan Taylor, I talked about his illegal formation penalty, but the Jawan Taylor penalty, that, yes, it would have had the Chiefs at the 2-yard line had that not happened, but I didn't realize it was on the same drive when I was looking at all my notes and rewatching. It was on the same drive that Mahomes threw that pick on. So all that stuff just gets elevated and escalated in all of our eyes because when it's such a close game, all those points matter. The blocked extra point matters. It could affect how Denver feels and how they press if they're down by 4 instead of 3, and they weren't, so they were pretty chill. You could look at a bunch of different stuff, and I'd just be curious to kind of know your thoughts. Yes, I think some of it is on coaching for sure. Some comments were like, Cole, don't dance around it. It was all on coaching. It's not all on coaching because when you look at the film, people are open. There's drops. Rice had 2 or 3 drops. Travis Kelce had a drop, and 2 of those by Rice and Kelce was right before halftime to get into field goal range. And Kelce's far from the problem here because he had almost 100 yards on the season or in the game, and he was fantastic, really. But there was a bunch of things that played. Sorry, it's really late, so I am trying my best, even though I'm tired, to put together very coherent thoughts here. But there was just a bunch of things that played a factor in this loss. Yes, coaching, absolutely. Going away from the run. Some of the run, though, was RPOs, and Mahomes was like 5 for 6 on his RPOs from a success standpoint. But yeah, late in the game, the last 2 drives, they go 3 and out. You go throw. Now, one of those plays, Brashard Smith should have pulled up on that wheel route. He didn't have to keep going. It was like 3rd and 2. But the bigger question of the matter is, why wasn't Kareem Hunt out there? Why wasn't he out there on 3rd and 2, even if you're going to go play action off of that? Now, had Brashard Smith caught that pass and pulled up like looked like he was supposed to, that's a first down, and we're not even going to talk about it, right? You wouldn't even talk about it. But there was another 3rd down that Kareem Hunt wasn't out there for either. Rice was in the backfield. Like, I don't know what they were doing. And on those 3rd and shorts, it's like, okay, why don't you just use Kareem Hunt that is basically as effective as the tush push? Am I having a caffeine crash? No, not really. It's just 10 p.m. Just 10 p.m. and I'm tired, brother. I'm normally about off the stream. By 10 o'clock, but we still moving. We still going. Yep. Enough screw up to go around. Yeah, you get a screw up. Exactly. Yeah, there was plenty of blame to go around in this one. And lack of execution. Mahomes missed those deep passes early, for sure. I do think, if you want to talk about the Mahomes deep ball for a second, I think Tyreek Hill, because I don't know that Mahomes has ever been an elite deep ball thrower. He's been elite at a lot of other things, but Mahomes could literally chuck that ball downfield in the Tyreek Hill era, and Tyreek would just hit like a 5th gear. He would just hit a 5th gear and be able to pull that in. So all these throws that are like a yard too far, I think Thornton has a better shot. I just think you just need to throw it downfield to Thornton more than anybody else. But Tyreek Hill, I think, covered up some of that stuff. And it's not that Mahomes can't hit a deep ball, because he's done that with others. McCole Hardman, he's done that with MVS. It's in his wheelhouse. It's just not, I don't think, like his strong suit. But remember Tyreek, man. He's faster than anybody out there on the field, and he would just hit a 5th gear. And you just don't have that. Like, sure, Worthy's fast, but he's dealing with the ankle and shoulder. He's not right. Thornton is your best one for sure. And he was overthrown just a tick as well. They had another connect later for 61 yards, and I'm glad for that. But yeah, when you kind of, I'd be curious to know your thoughts on what you think is just some of the biggest issues, and we could just read your comments and kind of go from there. I will also say thanks to everybody for just your support. We hit 300,000 subs on the channel yesterday, which was crazy. I actually loaded up my YouTube channel to upload something, and I saw we were at 299,999,000 and 299,999. So we were one off from 300,000. I was like, no way. So I just kept refreshing. YouTube. I was like, give me 300. Come on. I hit refresh for about 5 minutes. We hit 300K, and I was like, let's go. So it's been a grind to get to 300,000, to be honest with you, but I'm very grateful, very humbled, and it doesn't do anything in the sense of like YouTube's not giving me extra money or giving me paid time off or anything like that. Like, the content still has to continue, but I am very grateful for the journey, for the grind. And I remember quitting my day job a couple of 3 seasons ago now to do this at 20,000 subs. And what a journey that it's been. 3 Super Bowls later for the Chiefs, which is crazy. They went 3 in a row. So what a journey, what a time. We're still going. But yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody. A lot of you have been here for a long time, and it's crazy to kind of look back and just see how the channel has grown, how things have changed. And I do think I'm putting out my more solid content now, but it took a few years to get there, to figure out how exactly to navigate all of this and to go about it. But wouldn't be what this channel is, be able to do what I'm doing without you guys here watching and supporting. So thank you guys. Thanks mods. Thanks everybody for being in here. Appreciate you. Brand with the 10 bomb. Shout out to Cole and to the HPTC community. There you go. On reaching 300,000 subs. It's been a ride. Let's ride. Tons of hard work on screen, off screen, Cole, mods, the community, and the camaraderie built within. Let's go, Brand. Thank you, man. Also, editors Alex and Troy, back-to-back 10 and 5 bombs. Thank you, brother. Trevor with the 5. Maybe not that much of a hot take for the Chiefs this season. Patrick Mahomes plays another bad game against Lou Anarumo. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, that's another thing that we talked about in the Chiefs and Colts preview video that I dropped about an hour ago with Zach is, yeah, they have Lou Anarumo as their defensive coordinator because the Bengals let him go, fired him. He was the scapegoat, and that defense is still awful. So, okay. The problem wasn't Lou Anarumo, and he's now with a good team. So, woohoo. Woo-hoo. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, man. There's no doubt about it. Kyle with the 28-month Redbeard tier in the house. Let's go. I'm not biased with that, by the way, when you say Redbeard tier is the best. You're the man. Reeps is feeling sad about what's happening to his father recently. Please keep Reeps in your prayers. Yeah, 100%. I hope he's doing all right, man. I know he's going through a lot with his family stuff. Kathy with the 5. Congrats on your milestone. Thank you for the best Chiefs content. Kathy, thank you so much for the kind words. Let's go. Adam with the dollar bomb. Come on. Yeah, thanks, everybody. Why does Mahomes struggle against Lou Anarumo? I don't know. Sometimes matchups are just bad, or defensive coordinators just have a good game plan. So statistically, stylistically, how Lou has been able to... He's been able to get in Mahomes' head, to be honest with you. He used to be the defensive coordinator of the Bengals. That was when Mahomes and company lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. And when they lost to the Bengals, I think 3 times in a calendar year, Lou Anarumo was the defensive coordinator. And even when they won in the AFC Championship game against Cincy, that was Lou Anarumo. So it's just... He just has really good game plans. He'll switch stuff up on you. He did a lot of, in key passing situations, he would only rush 3 and drop back 8, knowing that the Chiefs were going to pass. So stuff like that. K. Neal with the 2. Every 3rd and long, they look for Connor. Connor, I don't know about on all of them, but like Fulton gave up one. Jalen Watson gave up back-to-back plays on the final drive. There was plenty to go around, but Chamari Connor did give up like 78 yards in that Broncos game. Yup. Please, Chiefs, win a game. Please win a game. Why does his name sound like a drink? Lou Anarumo? Kind of does. Go to the bar. I would like a Lou Anarumo, please. Chiefs are going to smack the Colts to paradise. I will say they are playing a lot better at home this year, so I do like that the Chiefs are going to have home field advantage. They've been playing cleaner games and just better overall at home. I think that's probably the case for most teams, but it's just especially true for the Chiefs so far this season. Do I think the Chiefs make the playoffs? You're on the ropes, man. You can't lose 1 or maybe 2 more. That's it. That's all you got. 2 is one of those things where it's like, hopefully it's an NFC team and like the Cowboys. But then if you're losing 2 games, other teams have to lose some games, and you're doing the whole wait it out, hopefully you can make the wild card by sneaking in. You basically have to win out, or you could maybe lose 1 and you're safe. Because 12-5 or 11-6, you're probably able to get into the wild card round, or get in as a wild card rather. But it's still not guaranteed. Yeah. Mahomes needs his dad bod back. He played better. Will Pacheco come back? Great question. I don't know yet, Noah. We don't know anything about injuries until tomorrow. Chiefs fan said, Cole, can Jalen Moore be right tackle so Taylor doesn't have to be? Yeah, probably not this year. I know I just made a short on Jawan Taylor being frustrated with him, but I don't mind Jawan Taylor if he's not drawing flags. But the illegal formation stuff is insane. If the line of scrimmage is here, you can't line up here. You can't line up back here. Like, he's been in the NFL for however long, 7-8 years now. You can't do that. So, yes, the illegal formation penalty definitely drives me nuts because he's been doing it. He is the most flagged tackle in the NFL this year, but he's had a better back half of the season, but he still has been flagged 4 times in the last 3 games. Last 4 of his 6 penalties have all been for illegal formation. So it's definitely an issue, but it's just like, bro, line up on the line of scrimmage or check before you line up. Look over there. I think your head, I don't remember the exact rule of how the O-line's supposed to, but your helmet is supposed to be like at the shoulder of the center or something like that. It's something like that. And he's been just lining up way deeper. Darrell with the 300K, well-deserved. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Jalen Moore, Jaron is correct. Jalen Moore is a worse pass blocker. The reason why, if at all possible, Jawan Taylor will stay the right tackle, unless he just keeps, like a game, he just gets flagged like 3 or 4 times. He's your better option than Jalen Moore. That is the truth of the matter. He is a good right tackle when not drawing flags. His neck is too short. That's crazy. Too much money? Who's too much money? The Jawan Taylor? Please don't lose 2 weeks in a row to the horse teams. Please, Omaha, and switch this streak around. Yeah, please. What's up, Ice? How's everybody doing? How are we feeling about the game? Did I miss some stuff? How long have you actually been doing Chiefs news? Since January of 2022? I just started the morning of the Chiefs and Bills 13-second game. I didn't know that the game would kind of go crazy. I wanted to start before the 2021 NFL season. I didn't have enough confidence to do it. And so here we are now. I started like, 6 months later at the end of the season. Smith should run out to the right or left rather than running under center. Are you talking about Brashard Smith? Yeah, well, they won't run him in between the tackles right now. Yep, we need to pound the rock more. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think they're in a bit of a pickle right now. The coaching staff is, and what I mean by that is Pacheco's out. They seem to really only trust Kareem Hunt other than Pacheco, and they won't give anybody else the ball. So, I don't know. Like, I agree with you, but when Kareem Hunt got shook up in that game, Elijah Mitchell came out for a few plays, but they didn't really, I think they handed him off the ball once maybe, and it was called back due to a penalty, and it wasn't a big gain or anything like that. And then Brashard Smith isn't being trusted yet to run in between the tackles. So some of that is just on the coaching staff. They just invested too little into the position, but I understand Brett Veach has a pretty hard job. You're trying to balance the roster, the salary cap, like all of it, but they have not done a good job. I've said this for a while of investing enough into the running back room. And that's been a problem, but Mahomes has kind of been able to make up for that. Well, I heard Colin Cowherd say on his show today, Allen's the better quarterback. He's just playing better. Well, I would still argue that Mahomes is playing at a very high level, but he has to shoulder this offense, and he's asked and required more from than any other quarterback. Because even Josh Allen, he has James Cook. That's top 3 running back in the NFL. You know what happens when you run from under center and you let Cook cook? Defenses have to respect the run game, and it opens up the pass game. It only helps Josh Allen more, and he's a great quarterback. But I just kind of laugh at that. They're like, well, Josh Allen's doing more with less weapons less pass catchers as far as weapons are concerned. Okay, but he also has James Cook. The Chiefs have the worst running back room in the NFL. Least explosive, at least. Kareem Hunt is fine in short yardage situations. But, yeah, that's definitely part of the problem. Part of the problem is the coaching staff not being willing to run enough from under center, and then they don't have a very talented room. And then when Pacheco's out, it further amplifies the issue. Where was Juju last week? Holden. He got flagged with 2 holds. Some of it's game plan specific and where they're looking. But man, I mean, I understand the Chiefs lost, but you're You're a Rice drop away on the sideline or Hollywood Brown going out of bounds at the sideline so they could have an extra timeout from potentially being able to kick a field goal attempt before halftime. That's 3. You don't get the extra point block. There's 1. If Mahomes somehow ended up connecting with either Thornton or Worthy early in the game, woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? But I'm just saying it's like, it's not a bloodbath. You're not getting blown out. It was within reach till the very end, and that's not even talking defense. If you manage to stop Bo Nix in that in that offense on 3rd and 15 or on any of these 3rd and longs throughout the game, that would have helped too. Now, the Chiefs offense had 2 opportunities at the end of the game when they normally do it. They're either up 3 or tied on their last 2 drives. And what do? 3 and out, 3 and out. But that's why fans, including a lot of you guys in here and me, were saying, well, why didn't you run the ball? If you're in 4-minute offense, run the ball, drain some clock, especially when Kareem Hunt's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. So, yeah, I'm with y'all. I am definitely with you. Want to see more Kareem Hunt? You think they'll run more? Yeah, good question. Good question. Being a Chiefs fan in Indiana has been tough this year, and it's going to be even tougher if we lose this weekend. Yeah, the Colts are a good team. They're a good team this year. Chiefs are periodically consistent. Timing and communication is off. Yeah. Exactly. Where was Juju last week? Holding. He did get flagged for 2 holds, but I don't think he got targeted. It was a weird game. Like, if you look at the stat sheet and, like, who caught passes, it was a very weird game. I agree Thornton is going to be key. How about those Chiefs? Let's go, said Adam with the 2-bomb. Yeah, bro. I think you need Thornton more in the rotation so he's not just out there to run go routes, because people know if Thornton's out there, well, he's running deep. Even still, in spite of that, he's getting open downfield and Mahomes is targeting him and finding him, but I don't think he's playing like a ton of snaps. Speaking of the snap count thing, that was weird. Fulton came back. He played like 9 snaps, but Noel Williams played 0. Chris Roland Wallace was out there in the slot sometimes, which I didn't mind compared to Chamari Connor. They had some weird, like, schematic game plan stuff that I think they're still trying to just figure it out a little bit. But it's like, well, you're in week 10. You should probably get it figured out quickly here because you're running out of time. I love my Chiefs, always have, always will, but run the ball. Honestly, as a Chiefs fan since 2015, just kills me to see us lose close games. Yeah, man. They're always tough. I think, Connor was blitzing. He had, 1 or 2 sacks for sure. And those were good. They worked well. Those were good and worked well. Broncos had our play calling down. Yeah, and they are just a really good defense too. I know people, I think, during the stream got tired of me talking about the defense, but I mean, they are a good defense, and they're the reason, not the sole reason, but a big reason why the Broncos keep winning games. They're just freaking good. And that was without Pat Surtain in, too. So PS2 was out as well, but that D-line, and I felt like the O-line did pretty good. Josh Simmons played a pretty good game. Jawan Taylor, outside of that, 1 penalty, maybe 2. I think both tackles might have got flagged twice. Josh Simmons had a false start and a hold. But you're going to get those when you play against that D-line. They're just dangerous, scary, quick. It's just going to happen. Yeah. Why have we grown stale? How can our coaching and front office not see that? Hubris has been a word thrown around, a little bit of stubbornness, maybe unwillingness to change and adapt with the times because you keep making it to the Super Bowl. If you make it to the Super Bowl and you win 2 in a row, you make it to a third and you get blown out, but you made 3 in a row. So it's like, well, yeah, you're changing and like slightly adapting, but it's working. It doesn't mean that it's the most effective path to take. I can get to the grocery store up the road here, but I could get there by getting in my car and driving down the most easy path possible, or I could walk through the woods. Like, yeah, you could get there, but it would be way easier just to jump in the car with the treaded tires and just have the smooth ride instead of going through the woods. That's not like the best analogy, but it's like you could adapt your offense to make it easier on Patrick Mahomes, to make the offense move a bit more smoothly. More runs, more play action. Just look at what these teams are doing and how they're adapting. Just look at anybody. Lamar Jackson with King Henry, Josh Allen with James Cook. The list will kind of go on with a lot of these quarterbacks getting help in the run game. It's not to say Mahomes can't throw the ball still, but it would help if opposing teams respected your run game at all. It's a bit of play calling and it's a bit of personnel in the running back room. We kind of covered that. But Mitch Schwartz, did you guys see what Mitchell Schwartz shared on Twitter today? Mitchell Schwartz, he did a film breakdown on the first play of the game, the RPO. Did I not retweet that? I thought I did. Oh, yeah. I'll show you this. Okay, so this looks funny. It does look funny, but look, this is what happens when opponents don't respect your run game at all. This is the first play of the game. It was for 11 yards. But the linebackers, what Mitchell Schwartz pointed out, the linebackers are normally about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, 3 to 5 yards. Well, this guy's like 5 to 7. Look what happens when Mahomes pretends he's going to hand this ball off. Watch the linebacker right here. Watch this guy. Normally, if you respect the run game, even on an RPO, that linebacker is going to hold or step forward as Mahomes shows he's going to hand the ball off. Well, he's showing he's going to hand the ball off, and look at the linebacker. He's moving backwards. He does not think or care or respect that the Chiefs could possibly hand the ball off, and there's nobody. Now, the play went for 11 yards, right? So it was still a successful play. But it just goes to show you nobody cares about the Chiefs' run game. Nobody respects the Chiefs' run game, and they know they're probably not going to run the ball. And that was a play that worked, but it's just saying if you run the ball a bit more and even if you just cause them to bite, what does the Chiefs' defense do, and where do they struggle against teams that run the ball well and can run good play action? Who did that really well against them this year? The Buffalo Bills. And they went up early. So then they could really just play their game. Oh, we're going to hand it off to James Cook. Oh, just kidding. Play action. But you think James Cook's going to get it, and you bite, and it opened things up downfield. Several explosive plays to their tight ends. Well, guess who else likes to do that? The Indianapolis Colts with Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. And I understand it's not normal for a team to have somebody as great as James Cook or Jonathan Taylor. I get that. And I'm not saying the Chiefs need to go out and spend a bunch of money on a running back, but do more than nothing. Do more than 1-year flyers and 7th-round draft picks. I understand maybe they're scarred about CEH, but there has to be, I know I'm kind of long-winded in this answer, but I just think there has to be some change. But when you keep winning Super Bowls and going to Super Bowls, they're like, well, it's working. Why are we going to change? To make it easier on your offense. We watched every game last year. It was stressful. And I will say, in one-score games, you typically just lose some and win some. Well, the Chiefs it was like luck on their side every single game. And now it's like luck not on their side every single game. I would have preferred a couple losses last year in one-score games for a couple of wins this year in one-score games, but it's not really how it's working out. Just get 6 yards a carry. Exactly. Veach is the reason nobody respects the run game. Yeah, I think it's multifaceted. Andy doesn't like to run that much. But I do think if they had a more dynamic playmaker back there, they might not run that much more, but you would have to respect it a little bit more. And I bet you in these RPOs, if Mahomes knew there was a chance the running back he's handing the football off to has a chance of going 20, 30 yards, he might actually hand it off a bit more. But right now, when you look at the running back room, who has a higher percentage chance of having an explosive play? Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy on an RPO or Kareem Hunt? It's Rice or Worthy. So I kind of put myself in Mahomes' shoes, and I get it. Because RPOs aren't true run plays, right? They're an option. It's a run pass option. But Mahomes is often throwing and it's working. But also, the more you do that, the less defenses have any respect or fear for the run game at all. Cole to the run the ball bandwagon. Yep, and somebody was just asking me about it, and here's the reality. Not much is going to change right now. You can't get anybody. Pacheco, hopefully he can come back this week. You just have to look at the Colts and try to do what you can to win. At this point, that's all you can do. You could feed Kareem more, but he's banged up, Jay. That was part of the problem. Yeah, did you guys see in the game how many times Kareem Hunt struggled to get up off the floor? And at one point in the game, around 8 minutes left in the second quarter, he left for a few plays. I don't know what was going on. The NFL is designed to prevent dynasties from happening, said Chad. Yeah, this is why they don't happen often. You don't get the New York Yankees in football for a reason. 100%. The way that they punish you in the draft for being good, right? It's not a draft lottery. If you're good, you draft last. You're exactly right, Chad. It's not designed for teams to win year in and year out. And that's why dynasties are so rare, such an anomaly, and why people are so annoyed about them unless it's their own team, right? And that's why, hey, you have to give props to the Chiefs for all the levels of success that they've been able to maintain in the Mahomes era. It's been insane. It is not sustainable at that high of a level year in and year out. Even the Patriots, it was like too many dynasties, essentially. Like a very good 5 to 7 year run. There was a gap. Then there was another one at the end of Tom Brady's career before he went to the Bucs and then won again. Hate that guy. Oh, God, dude. But, yeah, they're very hard to sustain. I agree with you. They always run the ball straight up the center and into a wall? That's not true. Kareem Hunt was averaging 5 yards a carry. Dylan said, thank you. I just found out I wanted to share it with the HPTC family. What did you share, Dylan? Great news. Your first child is a boy. Ooh, let's go. But yes, there are times when the runs aren't effective, but they're more effective than not. When they choose to run. You hate this team? They're frustrating, but it's weird, man. They're still like a good team. They just have not been able to win these one-score games. So it's gonna bite you in the butt, dude. If you lose another game, 2. If you lose 2 more games, you're in trouble. Defense sucks. Am I right? Yeah, I don't think they're as good this year as they have been, and that's part of the problem. There was a stat by Scott. I don't know how to say his last name, but it was the stat about Chiefs defense giving up 3rd and longs in the fourth quarter late in these games. The Chiefs defense this season has given up 4 3rd and 10 pluses late in games this year. They gave up 0, I believe, in the last 2 years prior. They've given up 4 this year. So that's a big aspect of just, yes, the offense hasn't executed at the highest level late in these games, but neither has the defense. And then some of these defensive stats, they are inflated by the fact that the Chiefs, they sustain really long drives that often end in points. They're top 3 in points per drive, plays per drive, success rate, EPA per play. The Chiefs offense is helping the defense because their drives are so long. The Chiefs have had at least heading into this last game, they had the least drives in the NFL. The offense did. It was a mix of the defense probably struggles a bit getting off the field, but the offense for the Chiefs, long drives, and will just drain clock. First down, move the chains, get to another 3rd and short, move the chains, get to another 3rd and short, move the chains, 10 play here, 12 play here, 10 play there, 2 yards, 3 yards, another move of the chains, and then touchdown. And that would help the defense. The losing feeling's weird? Oh, for sure. 100%. When you go to 3 Super Bowls, and the AFC West in recent years, too, just hasn't been good. You just feel kind of invincible. You're like, woo, Chiefs. Every week, it's like, yeah, it's fine. But this year, it's different. The AFC West is better. There's more parity in the NFL. And I feel like the Chiefs upgraded, like they upgraded left tackle. That's better this year. Cornerback's better this year. You're less injured this year. Now, you didn't have Rice for 6 weeks. You didn't have Simmons for a month, but you only lost one game when he was gone. But I do think if you had Rice for the whole season, like maybe you win a couple more of those games, because I feel like the Chiefs were in a rhythm offensively. Rice comes back and now they're like trying to find out what their offensive identity even is again. It's weird, right? I think it's a bit odd. Jones has no help. Yeah, the D-line is, I didn't mention it, but yeah, the D-line's an issue. We know that. Yeah, Chris Jones is taking a step back and his supporting cast is not good. Aside from aside from Karlaftis. Cole, will you stream playoff games if the Chiefs don't make it? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Ronan said, Denver fan here, very grateful y'all went away from the run. Yeah, man. Vance Joseph was like, hey, you can run if you want. We've got an extra DB out there. Light box. We don't even care. Because he knew that they weren't going to do it. We need a real running back. For sure. I agree with you. We're a really predictable team right now. If I know our next play from my couch, imagine defensive coordinators. Yeah, Toma, they're foaming at the mouth, brother. Yes, sir. Bro, HBTC, our dynasty forever. Yeah, the Chiefs will forever go down in the books as a dynasty. And even if you are able to sneak into the wild card or you don't make the Super Bowl this year or whatever the season ends up playing out, the dynasty in my eyes, it's still not over. There were years where the Patriots struggled from time to time. And so you just got to freaking win games, dude. And you got to take it one season at a time. Now, if the Chiefs don't make it, I hope it snaps them back to reality a little bit of like, okay, yeah, we can't just keep getting away with what we've been doing and saying, well, because we made 3 Super Bowls, this is just going to continue working like this. No, I hope they invest a little bit more in the D-line. I hope they invest in a running back. You might have to make some tough decisions because you're going to have to retool a little bit. If Travis Kelce's done, like, you've got to figure that out because he's still one of your most productive offensive playmakers at 36 years old. He's like 4th among all tight ends in receptions, 2nd in yards, and 3rd in yards after the catch. I mean, he's still playing at a very high level. There's also the decision of, I thought about this in my head. I've never said it out loud because I didn't know if I was ready to formulate this idea. But a thought I had for the offseason was, what if you could trade? I'm just saying, this is like a what if. What if you could trade Trent McDuffie for a couple of draft picks, if like a Sauce Gardner type of haul, and you used that to get a elite pass rusher in the draft? Or you do something, because the cornerback room is fine. And I'm not saying that's what I want to do. I like Trent McDuffie. I was team pay Trent McDuffie. But if the D-line can't get home to the quarterbacks, sometimes it does not matter who's back there in coverage. You know? So they're going to have some tough decisions to make is all I'm saying. Because Chris Jones's cap hit next year is a lot. So Jawan Taylor, you could move on from him. You could free up some money. There's things you could do. It's not going to be easy, but that's why I don't really envy Veach's job. You love that idea? I don't love it in the sense of like, I want to pay all the good players, but it is an idea that I thought about. If you could trade McDuffie instead of signing him to like a multi-year $30 million contract for a couple of great draft picks, and you use that to move up in the draft to get like a game-changing pass rusher, like an elite guy, and you pair him up with Chris Jones and with George Karlaftis, because Danis, he took a step back. You can move on from him. A Minihue, you're probably moving on from him. You just need more help in the trenches, and you've invested well in the O-line. I feel like the O-line's in a pretty good spot. Kingsley, rookie deal. Josh Simmons, rookie deal. You've paid Creed. You've paid Trey. Jawan Taylor, we'll see. If not, Jalen Moore. You need help in that D-line just in the future. So it was an idea that I had in my head. I don't know that I love it, but it's something that could potentially be explored. He's an elite slot corner, but probably outside top 5 pure coverage corner. Yeah, size probably plays a little bit of a role. And I think it just goes back to, man, you could have an elite corner back there locking down, but here's what the quarterbacks do. They say, okay, well, don't target Trent McDuffie. Target Shamari Connor. Target Christian Fulton. Pick anybody else. If you have a clean pocket, you have time to go through your reads. So if the pass rush can't get home, it doesn't necessarily matter. So you can't just trade Trent McDuffie and not upgrade the cornerback room either. You would need to do something. Noel Williams maybe takes the step up next year a little bit. Maybe you re-sign Jalen Watson to a cheaper deal. Again, I don't know. You don't have to do anything with McDuffie this offseason. He's on his fifth-year option. I'm just saying, if you don't get serious pass rush help, it doesn't necessarily matter who's out there in the secondary to some extent. Nagy's play calling is shooting us in the foot. Well, he doesn't call the plays. That would be Andy Reid. But the play calling is absolutely shooting the Chiefs in the foot. Yeah, the coaching staff is not without, what do I want to say? They deserve criticism too. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think the Chiefs are going to do with Juju and Thornton? Well, Thornton, hopefully you can keep around. Juju, I don't know. He's on a 1-year deal. Depends. I like Juju in his role. I like Thornton as a deep threat guy, but you're going to need to retool that room a little bit if Kelce hangs it up, you know? Jonathan with the 1 month. Let's freaking go, dude. Hey, Cole, thanks for speaking your mind on the Chiefs. Very grateful for people like you. Here's to the Chiefs finding a way to pull something together. Yeah, man, hopefully they can get a W on Sunday. I thank you for the kind words. The bit of knowledge plays Thornton has made, he has killed it. Oh, 100%. What's with the gossip of Khalen Saunders in case he didn't want him? That's what I inferred from his tweets. So Khalen Saunders, if you didn't know, he was released from the Jags, and he ended up signing with the Jets. But what he said before that was this. Sorry, y'all, I tried. If only the fans were the front office. Maybe one day, though. Who knows? He said that at 10:44 in the morning on November 17th. So that was yesterday. And then it was announced later that same day that the Jets signed Khalen Saunders. That was at 3:05. So I do think he wanted to sign with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just, for whatever reason, weren't interested. Do they need more depth along the interior of the D-line? Probably, but they seem to like who they have enough, or didn't think Khalen Saunders would raise the floor enough to bring him back in any capacity. I thought even maybe like the practice squad would be a possibility, but that's kind of what I inferred from all the Khalen Saunders stuff. If the season continues on its current trajectory, you think Kelce hangs it up after the season? Well, he's on the last year of his contract, and it's a very real possibility regardless if the Chiefs made another deep playoff run or it didn't end up in the playoffs, or if they didn't end up in the playoffs at all. So yeah, there's a very real possibility. It might be up to him and the team and how they want to go about it. He's not going to play for any other team. That's for sure. He's got all the opportunity in the world after football. So yeah, we'll see. Only okay with trading McDuffie if we get Reuben Bain Jr. Is he one of the top pass rushers in the league? I don't follow college football, so I will study the draft after the season for sure. Yeah, I know. The idea of the Chiefs not making the playoffs is a tough pill to swallow. Yeah, you've got to win on Sunday, and you're just you're flirting with danger, man, for the last 7 games. And you just got to start really stacking up W's here. If you lose 1, maybe 2, you could get in. Outside of that, I don't see how you get in. You're already 5-5. You probably need to go 10-7. 11-6 would be better. And that's only losing 1 game. And you have the Colts. You have the Titans. I'm not doing this in order, by the way. But you have the Colts. You have the Titans. You've got the Cowboys. You've got the Chargers again. You've got the Broncos again. You've got the Raiders again. And the Texans. Well, the Texans are in the playoff picture or in the hunt. The Chargers are in the hunt. So a lot of the Colts are probably going to win their division. So Another tough thing for the Chiefs is who they've lost to this year. Like, I would have much preferred they lost to the Commanders, but they beat the Jags or they beat the Bills, because all these teams now have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs because they keep losing to AFC teams. They lost to the Bills, they lost to the Jags, they lost to the Broncos, they lost to the Chargers, they lost to the Eagles. That's their 5, one NFC team. You needed to lose. If you're going to lose, I wish they would have lost to the Lions and the Commanders, but they beat the Bills and the Jags. They would be in a better spot because those teams have the tiebreaker over them. It's been a rough year. What about Elijah Mitchell? Yeah, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. He suited up, didn't play. It's okay. Nobody wants to see us in the playoffs. Well, that's true. Well, it's true from both points. If you're saying nobody wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs because they're dangerous, true. But the flip side of that is nobody wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs anyway because they're sick of the Chiefs always making it to the playoffs and making deep playoff runs. Also true. The Jags loss was an absolute dagger. I can get over every loss but that one. Exactly, Jordan. That was one where, and I think that comes down to something as well. The Chiefs don't have a lot of turnovers, but they've had some crucial ones in these games. Denver in the red zone. That should have at least been a field goal. If Jawan Taylor doesn't have illegal formation 2 or 3 plays prior, you're at the 2-yard line and you probably score a touchdown there. Not guaranteed, but you probably do. Instead, Mahomes throws a pick that he shouldn't have thrown, and he should have settled for 3. But that's a red zone INT. The Kelce and the Eagles game pass that was tipped up and intercepted, should have been a touchdown. That swung the game. And then, what was it? The pick 6 in the Jags game. 3 of Mahomes' 6 or whatever turnovers he's got have been in the red zone in like very crucial areas of the field. Darrell with the 5 bomb. Thank you so much. I'm trying to practice indifference, but it's not working. Yeah, as Chiefs fans, we any fan of any team, they want their team to win. They want to get into the playoffs every single year. The Chiefs have just been on a all-time high of winning their division every single year and getting into the playoffs and making all these deep playoff runs. That's not the norm. It's the exception. Now, they're not out of the playoff picture as of yet. You have to beat the Colts. You just have to. The arrogance of calling a pass second and goal from the 3 versus the team with the most takeaways at that moment and very good red zone defense. You talking about the Jags game? Yep. Yeah, man. Mahomes a lot to blame for 5 and 5. Too many crucial mistakes in the red zone. Yeah, I mean, the Kelce interception was on Kelce. But the other interception, yeah, that's on Mahomes in the Denver game. The Devin Lloyd one, it's on Mahomes, but he also, like, these other guys on the opposing teams get paid to make plays too. They faked blitzing like they had before in the red zone. They never showed this on tape before, and they backed out of the blitz, and Mahomes fired and he got. So yeah, it was an error, also a good play. The most egregious one to me out of all of them was the Denver one. He should have never thrown that ball. It was the worst one of the 3, even though Devin Lloyd did house that for a pick 6. Like that one, I was like, dang, man, that was just freaking excellent play call. Devin Lloyd sold the blitz, backed out, and by the time Mahomes let go, Lloyd was already making a break on the ball. So, yeah, Mahomes is not without blame. He's missed some deep shots. He'll tell you. He tells you in these pressers, like, I should have been more patient here. There was a play when he tried to target Kelce on the last drive in the Broncos game, or the second to last drive on that first down, where it got broken up by Talanoa Hufanga. Say that 10 times fast when you're really tired. When it got broke up by Hufanga, well, if he would have waited for about 1 more second, the pocket was clean. I think it was Hollywood was opening up as he turned to the left sideline behind Kelce. And he was open. I think it was him. It was either Hollywood or Worthy. And Mahomes said that in his post-game presser. Had I waited, that opened up. And so, yeah, Mahomes is not without blame. The coaching staff is not without blame. There's just the special teams miscues, penalties, like all the 10 penalties. In 3 of their losses, they've had 10, 10, and 13 penalties. What are we doing? What are they doing? You know, it's just stuff that you shouldn't be doing. That shouldn't happen to a team that's had the success that the Chiefs have had. And people are going to say, oh, yeah, look, the refs are no longer in their pocket. No, they're just being undisciplined and not executing like they normally have down the stretch. Brenda with the 5. Congrats, Cole, on 300K. Thank you so much. You've earned it. Gotta go. Good night. Still have faith in the guys. Go Chiefs. Thank you so much, Brenda. I appreciate you. Tom with the 2 bomb. Hey, C, what's up, man? Is it a lot of this due to Rice's suspension? Yeah, I did mention that earlier. I do think the Chiefs kind of hit a groove offensively, and then Rice came back, and you're excited about it, but you're kind of changing up the wide receivers that are out there and formulating game plans a little bit more around Rice. And Thornton's no longer out there as much as he was. Hollywood's not as involved. And like some of that's fine, but it did kind of, it's not like Rice was there and then by week 6 you fully hit your stride. No, it's like you kind of hit your stride as an offense and then Rice comes back and then you kind of reshape it a little bit. So that does play a role. Yes, for sure. Also, speaking of Rice, he did not have a great game. He had like 2 or 3 pretty, like they weren't the easiest catches in the world, but he had 2 or 3 drops in this game that had he made them, some of them, like one would have basically put them in field goal range before halftime. Jennifer, thanks so much for the gifted. Let's go. Where do the Chiefs rank on special teams? That's a good question. You know, I looked up NFL teams penalties and I could search it or sort it by offense, defense, and special teams, but it wasn't as bad. Like the Chiefs weren't as bad as I thought on special teams. Like just from a total penalty standpoint. What really stood out was the Chiefs are the 3rd most penalized team on the road in the NFL. But yeah, their special teams, you know, I didn't put this in my video yesterday, but I was going to say, I'll probably put it in tomorrow's video, but Nico Remigio, like he's a fine returner. He doesn't muff punts, but he doesn't give you that much other than that. He's kind of below average in most of the returner metrics, and that's unfortunate too. I don't really know what it is, but do you guys agree with me? Like Nico has been catching them, which is good. You don't want to muff your punts, but I think his long on the year is like 20 yards. So that there's an aspect of special teams. It's like Butker was missing earlier on in the year too. It was just a lot of stuff, man. He was doing good in the beginning of the season, has regressed since. Remigio, I'm just not seeing the explosion from last year. Yeah, I agree. He was better last year. Yep. Why don't they have Thornton or Worthy as our returner? Great question, Blake. I think Nico is for sure. He's basically on the team as your returner. He's not really on the field for offense. I think they trust him the most back there, but you're right. He's not really the explosive guy. You don't want to muff it like Hardman did? Nah, not really, or Sky. So it's just, I get it why he's back there, but he's not giving you a ton extra, if that makes sense. Speaking of, McCole Hardman had like a 60 or 70 yard return with the Buffalo Bills on the kickoff. Did you guys see that? He hurt his calf already, though, so I don't know how bad that is. And then Sky Moore for the 49ers had a 98 or 99 yard kick return last weekend. That's insane. Happy for them. Happy for those guys. Noah Gray has definite possibility of tight end 1. A lot of Kelce qualities. Yeah. We'll see. If you're talking life after Kelce, I think they should probably invest a little bit more in their group of pass catchers when Kelce moves on. But whether that's via more talent in the wide receiver room or they want to take another stab at a tight end, I don't know. A running back would be nice for sure too. Great job, Cole. Let's freaking go Chiefs. Barbara, thank you so much for the 10. Hey, you've got Brenning Stool on IR for the year. You also have Jared Wiley. He's been on the roster all year, but a healthy scratch, so he's still around. Sky Moore couldn't catch a cold. No, he's on the 49ers now as a returner, but he had a 98-yard return. I was happy for him. Interested in Kyle Pitts? Maybe. He a free agent next year? I think he is. It's insane that Pat won a Super Bowl throwing to... Dude, he won a Super Bowl throwing to Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, MVS. Like, that was a crazy group of pass catchers. Now you had Jerick McKinnon. You had MVS had a good year. I think his first year here. And then you had Kelce in his prime and Juju, healthy. It's just me or has Karlaftis been MIA this year? He hasn't been MIA. He's kind of been more of a bright spot on the line, but not a lot of quick pressures. And he's better as a high-end defensive end too. Mike Dana's regressed, and Omenihu hasn't been the same since the ACL. So you don't really have another threat to worry about other than Chris Jones, and he has taken a step back too. And that has affected the output of Karlaftis, even though if you look at a lot of the metrics and stats, like Karlaftis is up there, but it's... You guys watch the games with me. I'm not seeing the pass rush get home and be like ultra disruptive. So I think Karlaftis is a brighter spot along the line, but he really needs somebody else to step up, and that's been the part of the problem, part of the struggle. Broncos had 3 linemen covering Chris Jones, and still our D-line couldn't get to Nix. If you're talking about the 3rd and 15, yeah, they rushed 3 and had a spy. So, yeah, but you're right. The other 2 could have tried, or they tried, but the other 2 could have had an opportunity to maybe do more to get home to Bo Nix, but that didn't happen. Alexander said, not going to lie, I have no hope for the rest of the season. Matt Nagy and Andy Reid are too stubborn to change on the fly, and Mahomes isn't living up to himself. I mean, I still have hope, but you have to win games. It's different if the Chiefs look like the Raiders out there. I mean, the Cowboys went into victory formation before the 2-minute warning. That happened to the Raiders twice this year because the Chiefs did that to them as well. They're winning very close games. So I have hope, but it's like a week-to-week hope right now. You have to win. You got to win on Sunday. You got to beat the Colts. There's no choice if you want to be able to have a pretty decent chance at still making the playoffs here. What do you think of drafting a right tackle? Sure. I'm not opposed to it. I think you should always be trying to investing in the trenches because attrition happens at those positions and you need depth. You have Esa Pole, I think, right on the practice squad. You've got Wanye still. You have Jalen Moore, even if you move on from Jawan Taylor. Like, there's pieces there, but I'm always down to invest in the trenches. Keep doing it. Yep. No chance Andy Reid will run RPO. He does like his RPOs. We're trash against the run. Taylor is going to have a career game. I think, Ashton, I feel like the Chiefs' defense is okay against the run. They're not great, but they don't give up the explosives. And I think that's what I hope they don't do. Don't allow Jonathan Taylor to go for 50 yards, 60 yards, 70 yards, 83 yards for a touchdown like he did before their bye week in Germany or wherever they played. You can't do that. But you're right. They're not great against the run. But I do like and appreciate that they don't give up the explosives. Where they got is a run, like a powerhouse run team that is playing with a lead. So the Chiefs offense in this game, you have to go up early. They keep talking about it. We're going to go up early. Well, I want to show something to you guys. I understand that the Broncos have like the best defense in the NFL. I understand it. But it happened in the Bills game too. I just want to pull up the play-by-play and look at the scoring drives. Because you have to do better than this. They started out the game punting on their first drive. The last drive before halftime, Hollywood Brown doesn't go out of bounds. Rice drop. Kelce drop. They couldn't get into field goal range. Their opening drive of the third quarter was the drive. They got into the red zone. Jawan Taylor flag negates them getting to the 2. Mahomes ends up throwing the pick. That turns into a Denver touchdown. It's these key drives that this is the identity of this team. If you want to win this year, is you've got to go up. You have to go up in these games. Well, the offense needs to score here. They need to score here or where right before halftime. They needed to score on this drive. And they needed to score on this drive. Even 3 field goals there is 9 more points. It's still better than nothing. So, and then the last 2 drives. This is when you say, oh, Denver's only up 16-19. No, the Chiefs are up by 3 here. Well, they get the ball back with 8 minutes to go, and they go 3 and out. 3 plays, 8 yards, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Then Denver goes 6 plays, 19 yards. They are able to kick. Was that a 54-yarder by Will Lutz? Yeah, it was. Well, then they get the ball back again. Oh, we've seen the Chiefs do this before a million times. 4 minutes left. They're going to drive all the way down the field. They're going to keep the ball in their hands, and they're going to end this game. No. 3 plays, negative 11 yards in a minute, punt, and Bo Nix did it again in the fourth quarter this year. The team is built this year to play with a lead, and the defense is better. But all that to say, yeah, if the Colts are tied with you or up by 3 or 7, or God forbid they go up by 10 at one point, you might be in big trouble, because that is when Jonathan Taylor is going to start absolutely feasting. Watching you since you had 25K subs, said La Mangera. Hope I said that right with the 2-bomb. Thank you so much. Appreciate the 300K. Congrats. Let's go. How many 3-and-outs has Casey had this season, especially in the first half? It's not as well, I don't know how to look up quickly first half, but I did. Where did I share that? I just saw a graphic today, I think this morning, about teams with the most 3-and-outs. Did I retweet it? I don't know, but the Eagles lead the league in 3-and-outs, and then the Broncos are right there too. I know where to find the graphic, but it's not on Twitter for a screen share. I'm going to pull it up. Okay. So the Eagles lead the league going 3-and-out at over a 40% clip, at a 40% rate. The Chiefs are 4th lowest 3-and-out rate, just under 25%. The only teams that go 3-and-out less than the Kansas City Chiefs are the Washington Commanders, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Indianapolis Colts at the very bottom. God! And that's who the Chiefs play on Sunday. Nice. I didn't like seeing them there. Oh, dang it. JT has a lot of Barkley qualities. We topped him. Yeah, but Saquon is not having a great year, and JT is having an MVP season. So I do think the Chiefs can stifle Jonathan Taylor, but they need to go up early, play with the lead, kind of force the Colts to have to play into their hand a little bit more pass heavy. Jonathan Taylor is having an incredible season. You're funny, Cole. Yeah, I did not like seeing the Colts had they punt the least. They have the least 3-and-out rate in the entire NFL. I didn't even know that, so I just learned something today. Bring back EB? Sure, I guess. If that's who they want to bring back as the OC next year, he's the running back coach for the Bears. I personally want somebody new, somebody fresh, somebody younger. Just, I mean, if it's EB, okay, but I want somebody else in there, man. Give us some new ideas. Don't bring somebody else back. New. If you want to bring somebody else back, bring back Mike Kafka. Like somebody that's been somewhere else for a while that they probably wanted to be OC eventually anyway. I don't know. That's just me. If McDaniel gets fired, try and get him. That's part of the problem. Most offensive-minded head coaches that are going to get fired or high-profile offensive coordinators, they don't want to go to the Chiefs because Andy Reid runs the offense. They're going to want to go to teams that have a defensive-minded coach because they want to be able to run the offense. So it's part of the problem. If it wasn't broken, don't fix it. If you're talking about EB, oh yeah, yeah. That's why I said I'm not opposed to that. I don't think he's necessarily like the miracle worker. Some people think that he is, but I do know that he would get onto you and he would hold people to a high standard, and he would probably get into it with Andy Reid. So I'm sure it was good pushback, but I would prefer just somebody else new. That's just me, though. Nagy's literally getting feelers, and we all agree he is garbage. Cole, I understand that getting the ball in the second half for the double dip scoring, but let's just take the ball first, get up in the score, and make the other team maybe change their plan. That's a good point, Deximus, but the Chiefs, for what they just always want to defer. They never want the ball first. They want to be able to the goal is to do what they had the opportunity to do against the Broncos. Double dip. And they didn't. Yeah, EB is the running back coach for the Bears. Yeah. You're going to bed? Farm Guy, thank you so much, brother. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I did hear, May, Nate Taylor on his podcast today, KCSN, Only Weird Games. He said that Matt Nagy was furious after the game. He normally stays around, but he stormed out of the locker room pretty quickly. Don't know any context to that. That's what Nate Taylor observed. He doesn't normally share stuff like that, but he said that was so peculiar. Peculiar? I say that so different. Peculiar. It was so peculiar and out of character for Nagy that he mentioned it. Because we played trash. Yeah, he was probably upset. I would be upset. I saw something very interesting on Coach's film. You know the play, the third down, where Mahomes tried to target Brashard Smith on 3rd and 2 to move the chains, and they went 3 and out? I don't know if that was the very last. It was the second to last drive. Incomplete. You don't turn over on downs, but you're going 3 and out. Nagy was right there. And he does not move. He does not react. It was weird. I didn't expect him to throw a fit or anything. But game on the line, you're struggling, you go 3 and out. Nagy's just standing there. Brashard Smith doesn't catch it, and he's just like this. He did not move. He did not react. I was like, is this guy AI? It was weird. Everybody handles stressful situations different, so I don't have expectations on how people should react. But it was just weird to me that he didn't move, didn't blink, nothing. I was like, what the heck? What the heck happened? Codename with the 11 months. Do you think Andy might have gotten stale? And what do you think about Kingsbury as new OC? Cliff. I do think that the offense could benefit from an outside voice in the room. Yes. I think the only way that potentially happens is Clark Hunt is going to have to step in and mandate that a little bit. I don't know. It's not just coaching, it's lack of execution. Mahomes has been missing too. There's elements, it's multifaceted, but I would think that the offense would benefit from an outside voice coming in next year. I was for it last year, and I'm even more for it now. Even an elevation in the wide receiver coach. Connor Embry. I think he was a high school wide receiver coach, and that was it. So, why didn't Pat call for protection on the last drive? It was obvious that the Broncos were going to blitz. Yeah, so I've watched that play a bunch, and I've seen Matt Lane and others talking about it on Twitter. It seems like Mahomes was calling for the protection for Kareem Hunt up front there. And that blitz was an overload blitz. So they sent not one, but two. And I don't think Mahomes expected the second one. And he just kind of got. That's my perception of the play. I could be wrong, but that's what I think happened. But you're right. In hindsight, if you would have been able to sense that, Kareem Hunt would definitely be the guy to pick that up. But it's kind of like Josh Allen in third down or fourth down, whatever it was in the AFC Championship game, the corner blitz. They don't do that often, so it's not like if you don't see any tails, and part of it too is you're away. So you're rushing to the line, you're trying to bark orders, but you're in silent count. The play clock's winding down. You don't have a ton of time on some of these plays, and you had to get the ball out. That's home field advantage for the Broncos, right? So that's what I noticed about it, but you're right. That free runner, it looks like Kareem Hunt didn't even need to help in the middle. but ended up being a great play call, I think, by the Broncos there for sure. With or without Pacheco, we should have got Breece Hall. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that a bunch, and it doesn't do much for me to rehash all my thoughts about it just because the trade deadline is passed, and I agree. Like, I could see why they thought a third was too rich for a half-year rental if they weren't going to extend him, but I was pro, hey, trade for Breece Hall and extend him. But I think they would prefer to use that third and get a running back in the draft under cost control for 4 years. That doesn't help you this season. And will they use that on a running back? I don't know. But we got to remember, Kareem Hunt was a great draft pick. I don't think that was Veach, though, was it? It's 2017. It wasn't Veach. But that was a third-round pick. So it's like you can get solid quality running backs outside of the first round. I just think you should do more than the 7th round. Now, if Breece Hall really helped this offense and they made another deep playoff run, borderline Super Bowl, I think the 3rd-round pick's probably worth it. But again, I don't have the GM hat on, and I'm not balancing everything for the next 2 to 3 years either. They don't have a lot of draft picks. I get it to an extent, but I was like, yeah, please go get Breece. I'm down. Les One with the 5. Thank you so much. Can we have Derek Carr as OC the last time a player coach for a team was holy Zidane, and he somehow won the championship league with Real Madrid? Oh, okay. I was like, I am not familiar with this name at all, but you're talking, I think, soccer. So, okay, that's crazy. Real Madrid? I don't even know what that is. We out of my lane. We out of my element here. Yeah, even Allen has cooked now. What's a beard care routine? It's a funny question. I mean, not a funny question, but just I don't get asked that a lot. You blow dry this bad boy, man. You put beard product in it. Take care of it. Trim it up. I've got a few different beard products. It seems extra, but it's like you have to shape it or it's going to look insane. Somebody said you don't know Real Madrid? I mean, I know they're a soccer team, but I don't watch other sports, guys. I watch football, specifically NFL. That's it. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch anything else. Maybe like glancing at UFC because I used to train in martial arts, but that's it. Look at the contenders. They all have a respectable run game, said K. Neal with the 5. Andy has to realize it's easier for defenses to just sit back. I agree with you 100%. We talked about it earlier and just how much a dynamic running back could help and just calling more run plays in general. I totally agree with you, and I think they need to. They need to invest more in the running back room, and this has to be the offseason they do it because, think about it. Nobody's under contract in the running back room after this year aside from Brashard Smith. That's it. Carson Steele, get in there. Oh, boy. I'd be all for Ahmad Hardy when he comes out. That must be a college guy, maybe. I don't watch college ball, so you're gonna have me lost on some college talk right now. But if that's a great running back, sign me up. Matt R., let's draft John Jones. Good God. Thank you for starting the podcast, Cole, said KC. Vlad, I really enjoy it. I'm in South Bend, Indiana, in Eastern time zone. Got to get up early. Peace out. Go Chiefs. Yeah, thanks so much for being here, man. I really appreciate you. Let's go. Why can't we protect on Hail Marys now? I think that I would have to go back and watch the film on that attempt before halftime, but I think they once again blitzed. And Mahomes anticipated that guy to go out in coverage. So Vance Joseph is a very good defensive coordinator, and sometimes Mahomes gets got or the protection fails, breaks down. Whoa, that's one. Real Madrid is one of the strongest soccer clubs in Spain, rival with Barcelona. Think of it as Bills and Chiefs, as if Bills and Chiefs were Barcelona. They have Messi and Madrid has Ronaldo, whereas Chiefs have Mahomes and Bills have Allen. See, I know Messi and Ronaldo. I know some of the big names in soccer, but yeah, I don't watch it or follow. Don't really know like the lore of any of the. I know that's probably like blasphemous because I think soccer might be the most popular sport in the world. I played soccer growing up, but I literally just watched football, and that's it. For better or worse, I just think about the Chiefs all day and research Chiefs or NFL news all day for the YouTube channels. But thank you so much for the 20 bomb and for breaking that down. If in the moment I said who is Real Madrid, my mind is on football. So I'm like trying to figure out, even though that is football, I was trying to figure out what you were saying in the context. But yes, soccer. Yeehaw! I do like soccer because I played it for 10 years. Like, I would sit down and watch it. I don't mind it at all. Ahmad Hardy rushed for 300 for MU last weekend. Oh, nice, Tom. Let's go. Football. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Will they replace Dave Tobe or Andy Heck? It's like they're allergic to anything new. Well, I think MJ, it's one of those things where it's you made 5 Super Bowls in 6 years and you kept winning, so why change it? And that's why I was kind of saying, well, if you don't make it this year and you struggle like you have, I think there's more, you're more apt to see some changes this year. But it's one of those things where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because they kept making it to the Super Bowl. For better or worse, there were weaknesses, but it kept working, so they kept running it. Mahomes was like 1-3. Wait, HBTC. Mahomes threw like 1 for 3 was not good as he is now, but like he is decent. I don't know what you mean. I did read it twice. He threw like 1-3 on what? What are you talking about? Scoring 2 points in an entire game doesn't require an attention span. Oh, are we talking about soccer? Hey, man, sometimes it can be like 90-minute game, 0-0. We pay Butker too much for the performance he put out this season. Sure, D-Rock. I do agree he struggled early. I think he's done better in the back half of the season. What's up, Joel? Do you think that Jeremiah Love will follow us in the draft? Yeah, I don't know. You're asking me draft questions. I don't even watch college ball. I should probably start paying attention, though. I study up for the draft, but like I'm not watching college right now, so I don't know much about anything. Chris Jones's deal was busted. Yeah. I think the Chiefs would have been better off getting that deal done a year prior. You had to wait a year with the holdout. You did the Band-Aid 1-year contract. I think they would have been better getting that long-term deal done with him the year prior. And now you wouldn't have, like, it would all be 1 year ahead in just how the contract was structured. I kind of agree with you. Diddy Dan said, this is the first season I followed fully, and it's been a wild ride of it's so over, we're so back, it's so over. Bros. Yeah, exactly. It's been a bit up and down, that's for sure. In hindsight, almost none of the players are playing to their contract. Yeah, maybe. None? Oh, I got none of the players? Who are you talking about, Brand? That's just part of the problem when you're paying Chris Jones what you paid him at his age. And that's why I was like, you should have probably done it a year sooner. Kelce's on the last year of his deal. It's $20 million. Jawan Taylor is one, I guess. I'm trying to think of who else. Maybe Christian Fulton right now. 11-6, 7th seed lock, said Justin. Yeah, Ashton said, why did we sign Fulton again? Well, in theory, to shore up a weakness from last year, which was the cornerback room due to injuries. And I don't know what's going on with that one. Patrick Mahomes needs to be better at his reads, pre and post snap, said Tom with the 2. Thanks for another 2 bomb. Sure. I think there is always elements of Mahomes could be better. I won't disagree with that. He'll tell you the same. Yeah. I do think, I don't know if you guys noticed this in this game, but there were several times in this Denver game, they're getting to the line late, and Mahomes is like quickly trying to make some changes, but then they had to snap the ball. You're on a silent count. I think it's harder to get the play in. It's loud. It's just everything slows down a little bit when you're on the road because it's not quiet. And I think that did affect that offense at times, that he wasn't able to get everything figured out pre-snap. And you have to react in real time, and that can throw you off. Where at home, they get the play in ASAP. He can hear it. He relays it real quick. They run to the line. And then that's when Mahomes has, a solid 10, 12 seconds to look around, make some changes, run the play. I don't know how many plays, but there were several plays in this game that they ran to the line of scrimmage and had like 5-7 seconds on the play clock. He didn't have time. He was like going like this. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. That played a role for sure. Give Chris Jones a break. Plays too many snaps and get off the field. Yeah, I'm not as down on Chris Jones as some people are. It's a mix of he's taking a step back, his supporting cast is worse, he's playing a lot of snaps, and he's getting older. So, yeah, there's okay, Zinedine Zidane. Okay, Zinedine Zidane. That is an epic name, not going to lie to you. Why didn't Noel Williams play a single snap against the Broncos? Isn't he statistically like a top 10 corner? I don't know. Noel Williams played like 7 or not Noel Williams. Christian Fulton played like 7 or 9 snaps. I don't know why Noel didn't play. It seemed game plan specific because they had Chris Roland Wallace out there too. But your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully, actually, I bet you on Thursday, Spags gets asked. I bet you he does. I bet you that's what happens. They've done a great job of disguising coverage. Mahomes can't get all the calls changed. What do you think about some no huddle? I'm down. I feel like they barely ever run that, but I would be down for a little bit more of it. It gives Mahomes control. And then, yeah, in those environments, you can get to the line and like look at stuff. But I feel like the Chiefs also, they love to sub all these packages in and out. Like you guys saw one of the last plays of the game, right? Or one of the last drives of the game where the Chiefs are in like that super funky formation. Like they had Kareem Hunt out wide. They had Rashee Rice in the backfield. Like what the heck is this? You had Robert Tonyan. You had Noah Gray, Kelce. So 3 tight end set. Rice is in the backfield. Kareem Hunt is out wide. This was on 2nd and 10 with 4 minutes left in the game. Just trolling. And I think it creates a mismatch on Rice with a linebacker or something like that. But it's like, dude, how scared of the defense do you think they are of Robert Tonyan and Noah Gray? No offense. Like, you don't have Worthy. You don't have Thornton. Hollywood. No other Juju. Like, you got no other threat. And then Kareem Hunt, like, if that was maybe Brashard Smith running a route is a little bit better. So I don't know. They like to sub in and out all these packages. Check how many times Chris Jones still gets double teamed, said Tom with the 2. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know the rate, but it's still at a very high level. Crunch said, that's hella funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what that was. Pass to Tonyan was atrocious. Yeah, the 1-yarder. Football Dub City never want to answer me. What'd you say, bro? Oh, yeah, I think your comment might be getting X'd out by Nightbot if you're in all caps, brother. So I don't ever see that one. We said that about Kelce at the beginning of his career. He's obviously talented. It won't matter because he's on a dumpster fire. Well, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Brock Bowers? Is Mahomes going to have 3 touchdowns? I hope so. Which is more important, a good running back or a running game? I mean, the answer is both. The answer is both, but the more dynamic of a running back you have back there, even in limited looks, in theory, the more production you can get out of the run game, and defenses would respect that running back a bit more. So I think it's both. I think Andy needs to run the ball more, and they need to invest more in the running back room. It can be both. It should be both. I don't know why, but I feel like Coach Dayball would be a perfect OC for this team. I don't think he ended in KC on a good note. Right? Didn't he get let go when Andy Reid came to town? Was that right? Andy Reid defended Brian Daboll. I'm trying to remember the story. When did Brian Daboll leave the Chiefs? 2012. Yeah, they hired him in 2012. But then I think Andy Reid came to town and let a bunch of people go. I believe that was it. Sorry you got. Who got? I'm thinking Chiefs can win this game, but they got to actually show they want to win the game. Simple as that, said David. Lately, we haven't been showing the fire of winning. Man, I feel like they have been trying, but I do agree with you in the sense of if they wanted to win bad enough, they would execute at the higher level, right? They wouldn't drop the passes. They wouldn't have the penalties. They would just play a little bit better overall and come out with the W's. So I understand what you're trying to say. Good luck on this name, said Les1 with the 2. Oh, boy. Zlatan Bravimovic. That's not even close to right. Mahomes definitely going to try harder because he hasn't beat the Colts yet. Ooh. Well, and they want to stay in the playoff race, right? Bro, we barely got rid of Bob Sutton. Ain't no coaching changes happening with this team. The only way like a coordinator change happens is like Spags moves on as a head coach opportunity. Nagy moves on as a head coach opportunity would be my guess right now. Yeah. Did I miss your dono? No, I think I just read it. Did I just read it? I just tried. Did I miss one? I think I'm good. I think I'm all caught up. Don't you think we need Jeffrey Simmons? Sure. I'll take Jeffrey. Give me old Jeffrey. I wish. I don't know what his contract looks like, but any help along the D-line, I'm kind of for it. Yeah, they're beating themselves. For sure. And they're playing good teams. Like you lost to the Eagles. You lost to the Bills. The Jags is the game where it's like, dude, you should have freaking won that game. I don't know what that was. You lost to the Chargers week 1. His name is Cole. Give him a break. Yeah, exactly. Give you a timestamp? I feel like I just tried it like 2 minutes ago. I'll try it again. Zlatan Brahimovic. I don't know. I think we go to the Super Bowl and win. I'm down, Twix. Please. Who's going to hire Nagy as the head coach? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Can we expect Pacheco back this Sunday? We'll get news on that tomorrow, Devin. And we'll get the injury report Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and hopefully we can find out. Heck yeah. Well, dude, it is 11:03 p.m. We started late, but I did go for an hour and a half on this Q&A. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I know it's kind of tough times right now. The Chiefs they're 5-5. They're fighting. You just got to keep winning, man. This is what fans of other teams have had to deal with for years, that Chiefs fans have had the luxury of not having to worry about for quite a while now. And the Chiefs, yeah, their backs up against the wall, and they've got to fight and kind of claw their way to get into the playoffs. I think they can do it. You got to start this week. You got to get that W against the Colts. If you haven't seen the video, the Colts preview video that I just put out tonight, make sure to give that a watch with Zach, and I think you'll enjoy that one. But I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for the well wishes on 300K. Couldn't do it without you guys, mods, everybody. Appreciate you. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?